Good morning, everybody. It is September. I'm over here checking on the canola fields that I planted last month, and these are just covered in weeds. It's pretty awful. Not surprising, I guess, because we used a direct drill, so they didn't get cultivated or plowed, so everything that was already in there just sort of got to grow wild. But I think that means I need to do some weeding. So I'm going to head over to pick up the tractor, hook up the weeder, and get going with that. That's really all the farm work I need to do this month. It's getting on toward next month is going to be ridiculous. All of the fields across the way are going to need to be harvested. I guess we can swing over there and check on the crops while I'm picking up the tractor. I'm not too keen on the fact that all of it is due at once. I knew that was going to be difficult when I planted in the spring, and it still is. No surprise there. Let's go see how things are going. Well, these sunflowers are looking mighty tall and nice. I love it. I think that's going to be a very good harvest. What do we got over here? Looks like my grass is starting to grow back from doing the hay last month. I think if I can, I'll get one more cut off of that this year and make silage with it. We have, wow, these soybeans are getting tall. These things are almost as tall as I am. Okay, not quite. They're over waist high. This is going to be a good crop. Alright, well that's nice. And let's go check on the one I'm dreading. The sugar beet. I think this field is just too big for the equipment that I've got. I think this is going to be a big project to harvest this. Well, they are looking good. I think they'll be ready. Right on time, maybe even a little early. Yeah, these things are looking mighty nice. Gosh, that's a big field for my tiny little harvester. Oh, the sugar beet factory. Yeah, let me go show you. The factory building is up. I totally forgot to mention it, but obviously my money went down between last month and this month. Let's go check it out. Here we are. It is big. So we have actually, all credit to Jacob, recruited 4 workers so far that are in that building in the town, which can house 12. So we're about a third full. We load in stuff back here. And 2 of the 4 people we've recruited are going to be running this sugar mill for me. The equipment is not fully in place yet. Some of it is here, but not all of it. And they are working on getting the rest of that equipment in and also figuring out how to use it. They're getting a bit of a crash course. So I don't know if that's 2 people is going to be enough to run that. It looks like a very big factory, but 2 is all we've got. They're going to have to make it work. I've got the That stuff should have been moved by now. The butter and cheese from the dairy. Nelson's working away. One of the people who is hired as part of this first crop of people is helping out with the animals, and the other one is just handling logistic stuff right now. So moving pallets and things. And they really should have been over here to move this butter and cheese already. Nelson shouldn't be having to do that. I'm gonna have to... I probably shouldn't talk to them directly. I should probably talk to Jacob and have him do it. Since he's the foreman, I think he should be the guy giving the commands. I don't want to undermine his authority with those folks. So I'll have to talk to Jacob about that. Let's go take a look at the corn, since we're checking on the crops. Just to see. I'm gonna get stuck by the train anyway. Hi, cows. Alright, ooh, check out that corn. Now that is tall. That is very tall, in fact. Wow. This looks just about ready. That's amazing. I don't know who's going to do what yet, because basically with the workers we've got set up, we've only got 4 people. So it's still going to be basically Jacob and I doing all the field work for this harvest. I kind of want to do the corn myself. I think that's going to be really satisfying to harvest this. Maybe I'll let Jacob do the soybean field, because I think that's going to take forever. We'll see. Maybe I'll have him work on the soybeans while I'm working on the sugar beet, which will also take forever. And then we can switch headers and do this sunflowers and the corn with the corn header. It'll be all good. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. But first, weeding to do. Oh, there's something else I'm a bit sad to talk about. Which I guess I may as well bring up while I'm getting everything hooked up. I was into town earlier to check in with Jenny and get some coffee, because I still think Jenny's coffee is better than the stuff I can make at home. And I got this newspaper listing. It's sad news. First of all, I think this tourist moniker that they've given themselves is stupid. The people who are out having these day trips in Old Town have decided to call themselves tourists because tourism stopped being a thing with the great conflict. Everybody just hunkers down. All you city folk. Most of you don't even leave the district you're born in. And there's definitely no traveling between cities. So tourism is this really anachronistic term these days. And the fact that they've decided to call themselves tourists, going to rummage through that destroyed city. But the fact that a bunch of them have gone missing is very sad, and I also feel a little bit responsible for it. I kind of, let's get in here and get this hooked up. I kind of feel responsible for people poking around out there, because it's me poking around out there to go try to find some sign of Leo and Phoenix that sort of opened the doors for all this, and then setting up the Flying Saucer Pizzeria. Now people can just come out here and daydream about what it's like in that city, and some of them want to go find out for themselves. As stupid as that sounds, people are stupid sometimes. I don't know what happened to those 3 people who went missing. I mean, that city, you know, I was there several times a week for months while I was looking for Leo, and it's a wreck. It's a wrecked out city. Buildings are partially collapsed. Things that used to be roads aren't roads anymore. Bridges are collapsed. It's pretty awful. And that alone is enough hazard to make people go missing. But there's the big question, isn't it, about whether aliens are a thing. That UFO that we see every night over there at Flying Saucer Pizzeria, and Leo disappearing for, what was it, 7 months? 8 months? So I don't know what happened to those people. And I feel awful. I feel like I opened the door for that stuff to happen to people. I'm sure whatever went on with him was traumatic. I wish Leo would talk to me about it. Or anything. But I wish I knew where he'd been and what happened, especially now. If I'm responsible for getting other people kidnapped, held against their will by something? Ugh. I mean, I don't know what I would do. Just go in there and try to find them? That would be stupid too. I don't know. Anyway, I saw the article. I'm bummed about it and feeling responsible, and I don't know if there's anything I can do to make people stop going out there. But I'm working on it. I've been talking to Justin about it. We still get requests all the time at the pizzeria for guided tours. You couldn't pay me enough money to go in there. I'm never planning to go back now that Leo's not there anymore, or wherever he was. I hate having to dance around that too. I just wish I knew where he'd been. Anyway, enough of this. Let's get the weeding done. I'll send the drone up and we'll get into a time lapse. Knock this out. This should be pretty quick. I'll see you on the other side. Well, I just got a call, and there's a problem with the equipment over at the sugar factory. There's a delivery, and Jacob says some of the equipment that's supposed to be there isn't there, but the delivery people say they've got everything that was on their invoice. So I need to go over there and deal with that. I'll do the other field afterward. Nobody told me, when my whole world was just this little oasis and some sand, that I was going to have to be dealing with all this management type stuff before too long. Alright, I'll see you soon when I get back over here to do this other field. Well, that was fun. Apparently, I don't know where the problem happened exactly, if it was the people who I placed the order with, or somebody in the factory, but not all of the equipment that I ordered for the sugar factory made it. So they're going to try to rush the rest of the equipment that we need. It's unclear if it's going to be ready for next month or not. That's a bummer. I kind of miss the days when all I had to do was sit in a tractor and drive up and down. That's definitely simpler. Alright, well, I'm gonna go into another time lapse and finish this weeding, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay. That is all done. So now I get to forget about these 2 fields until it's time to harvest them. That's great. Because next month is going to be all about those fields across the street. And the next several months is going to be all about getting them turned around to plant again in the spring. I need to get all of this equipment into my shop and make sure everything is running smoothly before next month, because the last thing I need is to have any equipment down during an extremely busy harvest season. So I'm going to take everything into the shop, make sure the tractor, the harvester, all this stuff is ready to go. This header, I haven't even used this header yet. I did have Rachel refurbish it for me because it was used, so I think it should be fine. But everything else I need to go over, and this harvester. Oh, and I need to contact Eddie about getting the topper that goes on the front of the tractor, because this is the part that picks up. But I gotta top them first. A lot to do. I think I might have to split the recordings over 2 videos next month, just because it's going to be so busy. You know what? There's totally something I forgot to share. 2 things I forgot to share. Okay. Well, first of all, the exciting part. I'm so excited to share this. I wasn't allowed to until I heard back from Jenny, but she did call while I was weeding, and it totally slipped my mind by the time I was done. Jenny and Rachel got engaged. I'm so happy for them. It's been like 2 years since they started dating. It actually was their 2-year anniversary when Rachel proposed. And I'm just over the moon for my friends. I can't get over how excited I am for them. I don't know where they're planning to live, because Jenny's been living above the farmer's market right now, but Rachel has a place in the city. And I've been trying to get Rachel to come work for me, to be my fleet manager, and she kind of agreed to do that, but I haven't had the equipment ready yet to do that. Like, I feel like I need a certain amount of equipment first, and I just haven't been there yet. But I'm getting close. I have so much stuff. So I don't know if I can set up like a house out here for them, maybe. I don't know if Jenny would want to live out in the frontier, or Rachel for that matter. I gotta talk to them and figure out what they'll let me do. But yeah, I'm so excited. That's awesome. The other thing I forgot to mention, I said last month I wasn't sure what I was going to do with that canola, but I had an idea about it. And then you saw me go ahead and plant 2 other fields in canola. So the reason for that is there is a factory in town. I had a contract really early. I can't remember if it was for Walter or for Ravenwood, that had me taking stuff to the food factory for the contract. And it's been struggling for a while. They added a bunch of new equipment and they automated a bunch of stuff, but they just weren't able to make enough money for their shareholders to be satisfied. And they actually went under like a couple months ago. And I spoke to the foreman there, the former foreman, Claude, who I had spoken to like when I had that contract ages ago. And Claude thinks if I buy the food factory and reopen it, he can probably get most of the workers to come back. The food factory does a lot of food processing. It's not just able to handle the canola. It would be able to do a lot of goods, yogurt and ketchup and canned soup and all kinds of stuff. And I really think it's a good opportunity to expand the food production. Since I have this whole frontier farmed restriction, as much of the production chain as I can handle myself and not have to worry about people who don't want to be handling frontier farmed goods, that's better. And then I have actual like end product food for you all in the city who need to eat. So I think I'm buying the food factory. I started the due diligence and I've been speaking with Claude, and my lawyer's looking over paperwork with the people who own it still from it having been shut down. They basically filed bankruptcy, but they haven't found a buyer for it yet. So I'm really optimistic that we might be able to get that sale to go through soon. So that would give me something to do with the canola that's in my silo right now. And also, I've been growing both tomatoes and lettuce in my greenhouses, which I mainly have been using over at the pizzeria. They have a lot of need for tomatoes, obviously, for tomato sauce for the pizza and everything. And they serve a lot of salads with the pizza out there. But it would be great if I could also have the tomatoes become other products for you all in the city, like ketchup and tomato soup and things. And then if I do that, I might actually put up another greenhouse again, so I can grow more tomatoes. So yeah, there's a lot of things sort of like coming together right now that I'm very excited about. So I don't know if I'm going to get back to any of this next month just because it's going to be so busy, but it'll give me something to get into over the winter. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on the farm. I will get going with my servicing my equipment here, and I will see you all next month. Bye for now, friends.